Hey everybody, it's Mare with Lick My Brain. Welcome to another episode. Today I have on a very special guest. Her name is Kim Harrison. As you can see, lovely. Kim and I met through our famous Andrea Blythe. You all know her. And I'm very pleased because when we got to meet, I was intimidated by her at first. I think I told you that too. And because she just got all this big energy. But oh my God, when you sit in her orbit and you get all that energy, it's so good. And we talk everything about the dreams and we talk about cosmic origin and we've talked about money. And so I said, yep, you've got to come on the show because my little brainiacs, they're going to love all this stuff and absorb it all. So, this is Kim Harrison. Thank you so much for coming on my show today. Yay. And I would love for everyone to get to hear you tell us about who you are.
Oh, thanks, Mayor. I'm really happy to be here. And it's funny that you say you're intimidated by me. I think I was intimidated by you too. That's what big energy does, right? It's kind
Yeah,
of, yeah.
yeah.
And
Um,
there's a lesson right there. Jump right in there and get to meet somebody who
mm.
might be scared of. But anyway, yeah, I'm so excited. Yeah, we you asked me to introduce myself, and I I wear many hats, like most people, right? Like my day job is with money. I help women understand how money works, and particularly their money. My husband and I have a business where we help people to kind of figure out what their money does, where it goes, and how they can have more of it if that's what they want, which is what most of us want, or how to keep that money too. So I host an event called Wine, Women, and Wealth here locally, where I bring women together to learn about money and also to learn from each other because the wealth in Wine, Women, and Wealth is the women in the group more than it is within the learning about money. And that is what I do for my what I quote unquote day job. And my nighttime stuff, the fun stuff that I enjoy doing, is dream work. I have a business. I say that loosely because it doesn't feel like a business. It feels like fun and play. And I think that's what all business should be anymore anyway, is fun and
Hmm.
play, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
it is called Life Coach for Dreamers. And I play in the dream space and I help other people understand what that means for them and to really interpret and understand the language of their own dreams. And that is what I've been doing for probably about 3 years now. It came to me right during COVID, through meditation. I don't know. We can get into how that came to me if that's what you want to go into.
Absolutely. Yes, I love that. I read
Okay.
some of the stuff that you had. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Yes, please.
So it came to me through a meditation. When I was actually thinking about superpowers, and I was thinking about how people have these natural superpowers, obviously like, superpower like bend steel and stuff like that. But I mean more like cooking a meal and it being, you can just taste the love in it. Do you know those type of people who have
Yes,
those
absolutely.
those gifts?
Yeah.
Thinking, man, that's like a superpower. Like I don't have that, and I'll feed you, but you're probably not going to taste the love in it. This is not my gift.
Right,
And,
right.
I was in this meditative state, and I thought, wonder what my superpower is. And I heard this audible voice in my head that said, "You can interpret dreams." And I said back to that voice in my head, "I can, can't I?" And from that is how I started kind of going down this rabbit hole of learning about quote unquote dream interpretation, which I didn't even really know was a thing. I have a degree in psychology, so I understood about dream analysis, but I really didn't understand what that meant. And I just reached out to a couple people and I said, "Would you be interested in, kind of exploring your dreams with me? I'm practicing with this new superpower, and I'd love to kind of see if I can bring some value to you in your dreams." And both of them jumped right in. One started sending me her own dreams, and this other friend she sent me to a friend of hers who is what I call an abundant dreamer. And this woman actually memorizes, she recalls 7 to 10 dreams a night.
Holy moly.
And so by working with her, I've never met her in person. I worked with her. She lives on the East Coast. And by working with her almost exclusively for 2 years, I really learned how to listen to the language and to support her in finding the messages. And she's the one who called me a life coach for dreamers. She said, "You're more than a dream interpreter." She said, "Over the last couple months I've worked with you, you've helped me with a work problem. You helped me work through a lifestyle problem, and you helped me work through a health condition that I was concerned about. All through her subconscious giving her messages through her dreams. She came to these conclusions and she said, "You're more like a life coach for dreamers." And that same voice that told me you can interpret dreams
Hmm.
said, "Yep, that's it. That's what you are." And so I just made it who I was and have played with that. And that is so that's the superpower I bring forth in this arena. And I say I play because that's what it feels like. And it's energy work. A lot of it's energy work. I'm an auditory intuitive, so I hear things, I get impressions. So not only do I hear what you're saying as a dreamer when you're recalling your dream to me, but I also bring in my own other superpowers, the magic that we all possess, that we all carry. And the guidance is kind of channeling as well. I'm channeling some information either from you or from the cosmos or from the quantum. I really don't get too much into worrying about the science of it because we can't really measure science anyway. So, we can't measure this and quantify it to the degree where everyone will understand it and accept it. So I just play with it as magic and as spirit and go with it, and it lights me up, and I'm attracting a crowd, which is means that it might be helping other people too. Like you, I attracted you. You got some excited about some of this stuff I was talking about, and
Yes.
feels good. It feels good to do that. So
Oh
that's
my gosh. I just, one little side note so they can see the type of healer that you are is the first day I met you, we were on a river raft with Andrew and a couple other people down the Boise River, and I'd never gone down the river. It's my first time. And I was terrified because I thought, oh my God, I have to wear a bathing suit in public. There's no way. There's no way. And so Andrew was, oh, just wear pants, shorts, whatever. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to grab a pair of leggings and the longest shirt I can find and wear all black and a hat and hide. And I remember during one of the ceremonies where Andrew was having us throw a rock over to do like a release, and you were there and you were picking up on this, and you heard when I said, I'm letting go of, and God bless my father, God rest his soul. He just didn't ever really inspire me to be healthy. It was always if you could just lose the weight, if you could just lose the weight, you'd be so pretty. And you hear that. And I know
mm,
he hated that he said that. I know that now. Um, and I have forgiven him because of you. Because
mm,
as I'm throwing that rock and saying, this is not my crap to carry. Like I don't have this opinion. These are not my opinions. You came over and you said, maybe one of the reasons your dad said that was to protect you. It wasn't even a maybe. Your dad said those things to protect you because he knew basically what society would do to me being a heavy kid, heavy child, heavy teenager, heavy whatever. And it was later that day that I thought, okay, well then if it's not who those weren't even his thoughts, those were from then they're not my dad's thoughts. And it was so, so healing. And so that's
oh,
just a little tiny snippet of the power that you have had just in that one moment. And I think from then on out, it's just been I get drawn to you like a moth to a little flame. I'm just constantly
oh.
yeah. So anyways, go ahead, keep talking.
Well, no, I think that's important, and I remember that day very clearly, and I remember when you relayed it back to me. That's when I
Hmm.
know I'm channeling. That's when I know it's like it's a message from beyond it. It's a message from, it might have even been from your dad. I don't know, but it's a message that just came through that wasn't really me. Like it wasn't my knowledge of the situation, or that I'm because I've studied human
Right.
behavior to the point where I knew that was probably it. I very felt, and I remember being very definitive about it because it wasn't well, perhaps it was this. Sometimes
Yeah.
I'll go in that way, especially if it's something that comes to me very strongly that I'm like, oh, they're not going to take this very well. Sometimes I'll be like, I invite you to maybe pursue this possibility, but because I don't want them to go, who are you? Who do you think you are telling me this? But sometimes they come to me, and I mean, imagine you're attracting people who are kind of on this woo-woo side where we might be hearing messages and we think, I really want to say that to this person. But
Hmm.
I check it too with, is this supportive? Is this loving? Is this kind? Is this light? Because I don't think we need any more darkness in our world. And I don't want to be a person who sheds negativity or discord. I might tell some hard truths sometimes if someone asks me directly, but in that situation, you didn't ask me directly. So I came over with something that I was told to tell you. And
Yeah,
uh, I'm glad it resonated with you. But I released it as soon as I said it, just like you released that rock. It was like, this is for you. Accept it if you choose to, if it resonates with you. And that's how all my work is. So when someone comes to me with a dream, for example, and they tell me their whole dream, and believe me, I take that so very um, I hold that with reverence, and I feel so honored that anyone would share their intimate moments that they have in their mind that they really can't control. You know what I mean? We don't,
yeah,
sometimes we can lucid dream and we can control some things, but usually we wake up and we go, "What was that? Where did that come from?" Like we didn't have any control about it when we were in the dream state. And then when someone shares it with me, I'm very, very aware that that is a very vulnerable position. And so when I share anything back, I always do that. I say, if this resonates with you, it's for you. But I also feel to be careful when you're sharing a dream with someone. Sometimes the person who is sharing that message back to you, like if you tell your husband, for example, about a dream you had, or you tell your best friend about a dream you had, what you get back from them may be more of their stuff than your stuff.
right.
So it's really important to use your sovereignty there and to recognize that if this isn't resonating, don't take it. Let it go. Wash it away. It could be something they read. Oh, well, every time you dream about that, that must mean that you want to do this. No, that's not necessarily true. Um, Find your message. So when I share, I'm looking for your message. And I do a lot of personal spiritual hygiene to make sure that I don't come through in that situation, but sometimes I do. Sometimes it really resonates with me. But if you don't know about that, then generally it could be a lot about you. It could be like this, what you just shared about that dog biting you impacts me because I was bit by a dog when I was a kid, and it might mean this, right?
Right.
Where for you, it might mean something else. It might mean that you just you got too close to your personal favorite person in the world, because our dogs can kind of represent multiple things. And it's really important because our subconscious speaks to us in pictures
Mm.
and because it can't speak to us in words. And I consider my subconscious, where my dreams come from, or where they're stored and come through, as my best friend.
Mm.
So my dream state is helping me to process information throughout the day. That's one type of dream, right? Anything that we see. Like right now, Mary, you're looking at me and you're seeing not only my face, you have to really focus on me and you have to block out a lot of things in order to focus on me, correct? Like you're blocking
Right.
out,
Right.
my background and
Yeah,
anything
you're
else.
sweet Barbie. I'm
Yeah,
just
my little
kidding.
Maria over here, you have to
I love
block her out.
Maria.
Yeah, that's a whole other story we could talk about. Um,
Yeah.
you have to block out a bunch of stuff to focus on me and get the information now. But your mind, if you think of our brain like a computer, it's holding all and storing all this data. And there may
Mhm.
be some uses for it later. There may be something that you might need later that could come through in the dreamscape. For example, let's talk about Maria, and let's just say tonight you have a dream of a girl in a beautiful green sachet. And let's say that mint green color is just radiating throughout your entire dream. Or perhaps you picked up on her clothing and you thought, oh, well, that is something that I want to paint my bathroom that color. And it could be something that you're personally have stored that information. That's one type of dream. So my subconscious and your subconscious, I believe, helps us to process that information at night. So some of it is that type of thing. It could be a movie we watched. It could be a person we passed on the street, and it's bringing that information through beyond the veil of consciousness into from subconscious to conscious, because we remember it in the morning, right? So there's the
Right.
consciousness part,
Hmm.
and it's bringing it through for us for a reason. And most of us ignore it. Most of us say, ah. In fact, we were taught that as kids, weren't we? Did you ever
Hmm.
have a dream and you ran into your mom and dad's room and said, I just had a dream about da da da? And they're like, what did they say? It was just a dream. Don't worry, go back to bed. Or they took you back to bed. And if they listened to you, they just listened to you for a few minutes. They got you a drink of water and they told you to go back to sleep.
Right,
They helped you to forget and to not pay any attention to the messages within your dream. Well,
right.
that's kind of a new phenomenon. It really is. It's only been about 100, 150 years that we've treated dreams that way. For centuries before that, dreams were honored and revered, and the
Hmm.
dreams in our cultures were actually celebrated. And we just don't do that anymore. So I want to bring that back. I want us to celebrate our dreams, and I want us to listen to them and learn to listen to them. I can't tell you how many times someone has told me, I don't recall my dreams. And they say, I don't dream. And I say, well, you're not recalling them. And they say, well, I said, maybe just set an intention to recall them when you go to sleep at night. And
Hmm.
they'll message me back, or I'll see them the next time and they'll say, guess what? After our conversation, I've started remembering my dreams. It's just
Yeah.
to set that intention and bring it forward. It doesn't happen all the time, but it
It
does.
happened with me because I remember when you wanted to talk, I go, I don't really remember my dreams anymore. And I used to. And you're like,
Ah,
okay, well, there's something there. Let's get into that. And I just remember I was telling everybody before the like the dark figures that I was seeing at the top
mm,
of my stairs when I would wake up. And I was never afraid of them. I just didn't understand what it was. It would take me a minute. I'd turn lights on, like, okay, and then I'd go back to sleep. I have no idea what it was. Talk to you about it. And you're like, well, maybe it's a guide. Look at it like it's possibly a guide coming to, and that's what it felt like. It didn't feel like someone looming over me. It just felt like someone like checking in. And
mm,
because my parents, my husband's parents and my parents have all passed, and we had this little thing at the very bottom of the stairs when you come up of like a little cabinet of all their things and their
mm.
trinkets. So I go, well, one of them just pop in every night and just check to make sure we're good. And that's how I see it now. And I know people are like, well, you don't know that for sure, but I believe it. And if I believe it, then it's true for me. And that's all that matters.
How does it
And
make you feel when you think about that? When you think about them standing
safe
there?
and protected. And yeah,
And
yeah,
doesn't that serve you better than thinking that, oh, this is stupid. This is just me making it up. I mean,
right.
what if you are, but it still makes you feel safe and protected? And
Right.
what if you're right? I mean, sometimes I think we really think, oh, it has to be proven. Why? What does it feel like to you? If it feels good and it feels
Hmm.
right, why not just take it in, right?
Yeah. And then just enjoy. Well, yeah, Dr. Wayne Dyer said that you take the last 5 minutes of your day with you to bed. So, and
Mm,
I ever since it's been years, I don't watch TV before I go to bed. I'll listen to ocean
mm,
waves because I miss my beach so much. I miss the ocean. So I'll listen to the ocean or sometimes just a fan, just for that white noise, so that I can just recall my day and kind of talk to myself. Because you said set the intention
sure.
because I wasn't remembering my dreams. You're just saying ask them to help you remember your dreams. And bits and pieces are coming now. And I have my little pad of paper. So the second I wake up, before my morning pages, I do this little pad because even if it doesn't make sense, it's like there was a blue plate. Okay, write that down. I don't know what it meant, but write it down. Yeah.
That is so good. And we sometimes think, I don't remember anything in my dreams, but you do, like that, a blue plate. You may
Hmm.
wake up with like a color, like like you said, blue, or it might be, oh my gosh, it seems like there was some texture. My first question after I arouse myself a little is, where was I? Where was I? I want to kind of know the scene. And sometimes I can't find the scene, but then I'll say, well, how do I feel? And I was like, well, I kind of feel a little agitated, or I feel like I was working all night. Do you ever have those dreams where you feel like
Yeah.
you were working all night? Like I used
Exhausted.
to wait tables, like, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I was in the weeds. I had 12 tables, and they were all wanted to check out at the same time. Whatever. I'll feel like I was working all night,
Yeah. Yeah.
or I was driving, I was moving, I was in a car, I was in a plane. No, that was a train. I'll try to grab where I was or what I was doing. But then there'll be times, and this happens to me quite a bit, where I'm maybe making my breakfast, I'm taking a shower, and I have this song playing in my mind. Like, and I was like, where did that come from? Like, you ever just like listen to your thought and all of a
Hmm.
sudden you're kind of playing a song over and over again, and you're like, wow, was that on the radio? Was that if it was something that had come into my consciousness in the day before, or If I was, especially I just got back on from a 5 hour road trip, I listened to a lot of music. And so sometimes I'd be like, yeah, that came through. A John Denver song came into my mind. But then I pay attention to the lyrics, the specific part that's playing over and over again.
Right.
Because sometimes the words themselves in a song mean something. Like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, like the song, the Simon and Garfunkel song, Cecilia. If some of you are familiar with Cecilia, you're breaking my heart. You're shaking
Right.
my confidence, baby. That
Yeah.
was over and over in my mind. Well, I'd watched a television show this weekend that had that song in it. So I knew where it came from. But that same line kept playing over and over and over again. So I was like, okay, I'm going to play with that. You're
Hmm.
breaking my heart. You're shaking my confidence, baby. Where do I feel that that's happening in my life?
Mm.
See? So I use the message that keeps coming through my subconscious into my consciousness to use it to play with and serve me in my current moment.
Right.
And by asking that question, then I have a little more information. Now, is it a
Yeah.
person? Is it me, myself? Am I shaking my confidence? Am I breaking my own heart by my choices? You know, I get to choose. I get to find
Yeah.
the answers. So that's a great way to play with that song that plays in your mind when you're not thinking about anything.
And when people, so you have people work with you, right? They
Mhm.
come to you and get a dream analysis, and they can like I'm going to continue working with you, not just on dreams I've had, but what I love so much about you is you're pulling out with your gift, you are pulling out um, little attributes that I might hide inside myself. You'll see them and you'll bring them out, and you're like, well, of course you're supposed to do this. This is you have a voice. You should, and I know that working with you on any dreams that I have outside of my actually big dreams, I know that you're going to be able to help me navigate those through all the different God gifts you have. I mean, it's just Spirit has gifted you big time.
Oh, thanks.
And
Well,
then in turn, we get the gifts from you. So,
I call that conscious dream generation.
mhm.
And I believe that, it's interesting because if you say the word dream, if I say I had a dream last night, or I have a dream that I want to do something, those are like past and future, right? No, we
Right.
have is now. But we understand each other. I don't have to explain it. Like the dream was what I had when I was asleep. The dream that I have moving forward is something that I've thought of for a long time. I don't have to go to all that discussion about that I have a dream to be an actress or whatever, right?
Right. Right.
You know by my so we understand the dream state and it encompasses both of those. And we even have the same word for it in the English language. I don't know about other languages, but we have the same word. So it's the same thing. It's
Hmm.
all the subconscious. It's something that we have created that we want either to aspire to, or the information that's come from before. And it's all tied to remembering. It's all tied
Hmm.
to our memory, which also resides in that same spot in our brain. So
Right.
we're just remembering. We're remembering something. We're remembering what we want in the future or what we had in the past. And so we can play in that same space. It works the same way. You tell me what you want to be, what you want to do, what lights you up. We can do the same thing with that. We can take it apart and find the same hidden messages within that and utilize those to help you reach it. We can break it down. We can reverse engineer it because the dream lives in the highest state of consciousness. It is that furthest thing. It's in the if we're looking at chakra systems, it's in the ether, it's in the God center. It's
Hmm.
the top level to bring manifest, we need to bring it through our system to the root. And there
Hmm.
are that's conscious dream generation is something that I created to actually work through the system to bring it into the tangible, to matter, to really make it into matter. And yeah, I haven't played in that for a while, but I can do that, and I do that. I coach on that individually at this point. I did have a course, a 90-day workshop on conscious dream generation. I've been reworking that a little bit because I think 90 days is not necessarily isn't I think the information can be delivered in a quicker format, but 90 days is probably a good time to actually work with it. So I'm still replaying with it. I play with a lot of stuff, Mayor. I get great ideas. I sometimes think of myself as a painter, like, and I throw stuff on a canvas and then I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, I don't know if that's ready yet. And I'll stick it over here alongside the wall and then I'll put up another canvas and I'll paint some more stuff. And, so
Yeah.
right now I'm kind of painting on this cosmic origin stuff.
I was just going to ask you to share about that kind of stuff
Oh,
because that when you said, Mayor, I want to do this, and which I'm like, yes, I want to do that. Yes, I want to do that. And then when you had the results, I was like, validation, validation, validation.
oh,
Everything was
wow.
just right there. It was
Oh,
inspiring. I loved it.
well, okay. I'm going to go real weird woo-woo on you here because this is kind of another
Good.
freak
Oh, they can
tangent.
lick my brain
I
lickers
know.
out here. They love the woo.
Good. I hope I'm licking some brains today with this because you're my people if this is
That's
what's happening
right.
to you. And I'm pretty sure since you're my people, you attract people that are my people. So
That's
I feel
right.
pretty safe here in having this conversation. But um, this happened about the same time, maybe around the time that I was started doing like really putting this dream business together. I would see somebody's face. Not everybody, not all the time. I had no control over it, kind of like a dream, right? It
Mm.
just happened where I would see their face, I'd look at them, and it was as if this other image superimposed over their face. And
Mm.
it was face-like, but it was also alien-like. And I would like their eyes would change shape, or their ears would change shape, or their head would change shape, or their forehead would get bigger, or their eye, and it would freak me out. Like, and I would look at them and go, like, I was trying to bring it back into focus, and I was like, what the heck is this? And and I didn't say anything about it for a long time, as you can imagine. And how would you
Right.
say, like, I just saw an alien when I looked at your face.
Yeah. Yeah.
People, not only I don't want to freak anybody out, including me, right?
Right.
And so I would be like, oh, okay. All right. But then it's like, it happened so often it was happening quite a bit during this certain period in my life that I
Mm.
would start saying things like, you're not from here, right? Or have you ever, like, and especially in this one particular group where it attracts a lot of people that I know are kind of on that they're spiritual in the woo-woo sense. So I felt
Hmm.
a little safer to start saying it. And then they would start telling me things that they to connect with this or that, and yeah, or I'm an angel and I have a lot of angelic power, or I channel this certain person, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I could start to kind of see there was some connection. Well, that superpower, I now call it a superpower, went away for a while, and I haven't really played with it at all for a long time, and I just kind of forgot about it, kind of like I didn't listen to it, so it
Hmm.
went away. Just like if we're not paying attention to our dreams, we no longer recall our dreams, right? There's no reason. There's no reason for the subconscious to keep sending us messages if we're not opening the letters and reading them, right? So that's kind of what happened. And then it started happening again recently, like in the last couple of months. And this one guy, it was so, I'd had it happen the day before. And this guy walked around. He was talking, this friend of mine knew him. And she was sitting in front of me, and he walked around behind me. And I mean, I felt his energy before I even saw his face. And I knew it was otherworldly energy. I just knew it.
Mm.
I can't explain this. But he walked around, and when he sat down, I was like, and I did that whole, like when the dog lifts their ear, like they're trying to hear you, right? I kind of do that with them, and I was just, this is like there's something here. Like I can't ignore this anymore. I need to
Hmm.
figure out what this is. So that night I went to sleep. And before I went to sleep, I did what I instruct my dreamers to do is to set an intention. So I asked for some clarity around this. Why am I seeing this? What is this, right? And when I woke up in the morning, I mean, my first thought was, well, I didn't have a dream about it. I don't really know. But I laid there in the liminal space. I love the liminal space, the space in between
Mm.
sleep and wake, the genius spot. This is where many, many people from Thomas Edison, Salvador Dali, many people have documented using this space as their magic place where things come together. So I lay there in my liminal state and I start to think about it. And before I get up, I start to allow my brain to process some information. And I just was hearing those voices of this is you're seeing where they've been. You're seeing who's guiding them. You're seeing the image of cosmic origin. And I
Mm.
was like, oh, that's cool. You kind of like it kind of tingles, right? When you hear it, if it resonates with you, you get this little ooh, like what?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And it was the word cosmic origin didn't come until later, but that's what it was like was and even the word starseed didn't come, but that's what I was feeling like, okay, this is what I'm picking up on. I'm like, well, how can I help people with this? Because I don't feel like it's just for me to know this. Everything I do is to help others, right? So how can I bring this information to them? Because me just looking at them like I'm freaking out and turning my head funny isn't helping them, or saying, you're not from here, right? Isn't also helping them. So how can I help them? And literally, it's like create a questionnaire. And I got out of bed and went right to my computer and created this questionnaire within like an hour. It was just done. And I was looked back at it and said, "Oh my gosh, what did I just do?"
Hmm.
I just created something that is really fun and cool. So I did it myself to kind of see where I was because
Right.
kind of just got channeled through and I created it. And it was really cool. And I said,
Hmm.
okay, this is information that I can share with others. So I picked a few people that came into my world and at that time and asked if they wanted to participate or just told them about it. I didn't even have to ask. McMahon just jumped in
Yeah.
and said, oh, I want to do it. I want to do it. And I've been just playing with this information. And the coolest part is then by melding this information together, I've been able to create an image of what is happening, what I'm seeing. Now, does it match or the overlay? No, I cannot say that that's what I've seen yet. But what it does is it brings forth this beautiful image that is serving the person now.
Right.
Now, what this is, as far as there's 13 different attributes. I call them, it's an archetypical representation. So it literally could be where you come from in the universe, like where you came from before you came to Earth, if that resonates with you. Again,
Hmm.
whatever I say, if it doesn't resonate, we throw it out, right? Um,
Right.
if that's where you came from. It could be that these are the guides, the energies that you're bringing in that are from these particular places. Now, you know what an archetype is? Are you familiar with the word archetype, Mayor? Okay.
Yes, but they might not be, so go ahead and.
So archetype to me is just a personification of of um, shared, agreed upon emotions, feelings, things. Like when we say mother, we may all have a different feeling about what mother means to us personally, but collectively we all understand mother. We kind of understand mother as the person, what the mother is, what age mother is, what mother does, the nurturing, loving, all those things. We understand that as a collective. We've decided that mother is something. So that's kind of what these do. These are agreed upon traits and attributes coming from this place. Now, who made these up? Who created these? I don't get into that. I just channel them. I pull them through. I pull them through from the information that's out there already that's provided to us because we carry around a massive computer in our pocket all the time. So I'm using this massive generation of technology to create this technology to bring it through for us. Now, I've not studied this a lot. I've never ever until just a couple months ago even been interested in this type of thing. But it's fascinating to me I feel that it's a channeled um, gift, you know?
Oh my.
The people that are using it, people that have been experiencing it, are
Mhm.
finding value from it. So therefore, then I find value from it because that's what I wanted to do with it. And
Mhm.
it lights me up. Like I'm sitting here looking at the image I created for you, Mary. I posted it right here in front of me because it's just so fascinating. And I
Oh, I'm
didn't
gonna find it
it's
on my
your
phone and
image.
show them. It's so
And
cool.
it's fascinating. And then I have my own too, but I've done it for a few other people and they're equally fascinating and they resonate with the viewer. So I actually feel like this is information that's not just a one and done either. I think that because
Mm.
I believe this is worth doing maybe seasonally, maybe every quarter, or at least like do it again. You've done it in the summer, maybe let's do it in the fall and see if you still are bringing forth that same information because maybe you are Syrian, and that's where you were in the Sirius constellation prior to coming to Earth.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe you're also picking up on other things, other relations to things, or drawing in guides from that particular place, or resonating with that particular archetype in general. And all can be true or none can be true. But
Right.
that's like the dreamer gets to choose it. So it's just more information to guide you towards your future because it ties up with the purpose. What is the purpose
Yes.
and I think that's what resonated with you, wasn't it, Mayor? The
And it
purpose.
gave me permission. Like
Oh, love
it
that
gave me
permission.
permission to be and bring out my inner self. Like I knew these things, but but sometimes because, like you said, the dreams are squashed or you're told, oh, come on, just, stop daydreaming, just get going.
Mhm.
You got to have a job, that you got to have money, and it's got to just be work. And then you get to come home and play. I don't want to do that. I want to play and also just happen to get an income because I'm playing and helping other people.
Right.
And reading the descriptions of either my guides or possibly myself, either way, they both felt perfectly fine and they all resonated with me. And I could see myself in all the descriptions. And I thought, this is validation. Guess what, girl? You do have the permission to get out there and be loud and make a difference. And there's protesting, yes. And there's big energy. Yeah. I mean, I do have some big energy, so I might as well do something good with it. But what's the
Wonderful.
weirdest thing, or not weirdest, but what is the most interesting download that came to you while you're doing these? Like, do you get downloads when you're reading the origin stories of other people? Are you seeing, because that's what you said to, like you read the fact, like the actual words, and then you shared your intuitive gift of by knowing me, working with me, kind of pulling out other things for me to think about. Because I would have just done black and white. Here's the thing. This is all I got to focus on. But you helped
Mm.
by working with me on that, not just going, here's your paper. Have fun. Have a good day. It was, you know, think about this and think about that. And it was lovely. It
Hey,
was
thanks
really
for sharing.
helpful.
Thanks for sharing that because uh, that's the part I forget because that's the part that's channeled. That's the part that I don't, it's not from my knowledge that I
Mm.
share that. And I think that's a very key part to this. I mean, that's what separates this from if you just did it online or did something on like this online. Because
Yes.
after I created this, I went and looked and there was stuff like this online that you can do. And I was like, because that's kind of how dream work happened with me too. I did something and then I went and looked at it and I was like, oh, other people have done this too, but they're not doing it the way I'm doing it.
Right.
And that's okay. There's lots of things that'll resonate with different people. The gift here is in the action in that because I do see things and I share them. I share them in the moment. But can I tell you what I said to you? No, because what I said to you in the moment was for you, and it was for
Right.
you at the moment. And I've had a couple of others where I've spoke actually I've had, yeah, where in person, and then I've had some online, and all have resonated with what I've said to them about themselves. Now, Mare, I know you, but I don't know you really well. I haven't known you for years and years and years. I didn't go to
Right.
high school with you. I don't know. I don't have that history with you. But I do pick up impressions, and I do share that, just like I do in a dream interpretation, a dream session where I share what I hear, what I feel, and what I pick up also from you and your impressions about things. Things, and
Mm-hmm.
if you noticed I after I read it to you, I said, "Does this resonate with you?" And then
Mm-hmm.
it was a, "Oh yes," either, and then where it resonated, right?
Yeah.
And I've yet to find someone who says, "No, this doesn't." And then if that was the case, then we would explore that further. But
Right.
I think because of the way the questionnaire is worded, also that it will resonate because it's pulling through. You're already stating that information. I'm just combining it and then providing back this intuitiveness to it to infuse it with a little more knowledge for you
Right.
that you can utilize to use it however you choose. You can
And
use
it
it
was
just.
a fun questionnaire. Like that's the other thing too, because I mean, I am a nerd. I don't care. I love researching. So to get these questionnaires about myself, I'm also an Aries, so I'm very self-centered.
Yeah.
So it's all about me. So I'm sitting there and I'm asking these questions, but then instead of just answering them, I would be really quiet and say the question again. And if I felt it for real, then I knew. And then it got more exciting because I felt like every question, the list of was actually bringing things out of me. I'm like, oh my God, I never thought about that. And then I was really excited to see the results. But I want to show you guys. Okay. So when you're done and you get your report, Kim will put together the vision with a little help, but who cares? This blew my mind because I'm learning all about sacred geometry. Don't know that much about it. I don't connect with it a lot yet, like Kimberly, other Kimberly does. But I'm going to show you guys if I can get it in. Yeah,
Oh
this
yeah.
is this is my
Look at
star seed.
her.
That's my star seed, and I love her so
Is she
much.
cool?
I'm gonna get her printed and put her on a big old canvas
Oh my
somewhere in
gosh,
my.
she gives me chills. I just looking at her just
I
no,
mean,
put that up by your face. Put that up by your face. Look. Oh my gosh. Yes. Look at that.
oh, it's so
How
good.
come we change places? Oh, because you changed her
I don't
something.
know.
Oh, that's
We
funny.
changed.
Oh,
Well, maybe that's what she wanted. She's like,
she
"Hey
wanted, and
guys."
my hand raised. That is something else that's been happening. My hand raises on my computer just at random. So I guess maybe that's what it did
It's
it.
a
I
lot of
must maybe
electric energy in there, girl.
crazy,
Yeah,
crazy. Well, I love what you said there. And there's something I was going to go back to there where you talked about that, but
the sacred geometry.
no, it was before that. It was before you showed your picture.
Oh, the
Oh,
question. I was talking about the questionnaire and just how it kept
yeah.
bringing, yeah, makes you
The
think.
questionnaire itself is valuable. And I'm glad you brought that up because I think even if you don't care to know about, the starseed stuff and you just want to kind of know why you're here on Earth, like
Yeah,
if you've ever felt like, man, I don't even really know what my purpose is here. Just the questions themselves are good prompts to look at it. And you can do the questionnaire for free. If you want to take the questionnaire and just answer the questions, just do that. That helps and provides me some data because I'm kind of collecting some data. I'm a little bit of a nerd too. I'm a king of clubs for those
that's
of you.
right. And I'm the 10 of clubs, so she's my
So,
king.
so we're into knowledge. We want to know as much as we can, and so I'm collecting that data, and so it helps me, and it also helps you. And if you're
Hmm.
not interested in only knowing your star seed, then we're done. If you want to know more about your cosmic origin and what this reveals about you, then we have that conversation. And yeah, so yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. Yeah, I think it's
I'm
gonna be
gonna
fun.
have all your information in the show notes, how to get a hold of you for the
Right.
dreaming, everything.
Yeah.
But I also want to make sure that they can get a hold of you regarding the finances, because that was another thing that I was a little fearful about. Am I going to be okay if something happens to,
Mm,
my mate? And it was very empowering to find out because I kept going, oh, I can't do it. I can't do it. When you're paycheck to paycheck, you're like, oh, well, there's no way if we're paycheck to paycheck, how can I do it by myself?
right.
And you had me just do a few little steps, and then I saw it, and the fear is gone. And there's so many women who, especially, I'm 58. So as our husbands get older and maybe in poor health, you think, okay, what's the backup plan here? And I don't have one, but now I do. And
Yeah,
it's super empowering. So I think that gift right there is huge, but your other gifts are just as important. Just as
cool.
important.
That's the thing. First of all, people think they have to pay me to do this. As far as the money thing, is the assessment for that is no charge, and the reason for that is because um, that's not how our structure is. Our business is structured. We get paid kind of like a realtor does if we help you. If and we don't get paid from your money. We get paid from the companies that we represent. So if we see that there's something that we can do to support you in that, then we will connect you with a company and help that and facilitate that transaction. So we don't
Hmm.
take anybody's money, use anybody's money, invest anybody's money, and that's not our format. And I see myself as someone who provides information, and my niche in this market is just what you said. If I can sit down with someone like Mayor of you, and if you're fearful because bag lady syndrome is a real thing. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of us are afraid we're either going to be living under a bridge somewhere because we have no money, or we're going to be living in our kid's back bedroom, or in
Right.
the basement apartment and being a burden to somebody. We're worried about that because we outlive our spouses. We outlive a lot of those our partners oftentimes, women especially, and we're alone with our money because of the double D's, death or divorce. Almost always, we will have at some point the responsibility of our entire financial household.
Mm-hmm.
Those are scary things if we're not doing it already. And even if we're doing it already, I talk to some women who they just keep making more and more and more and more money, and there's this fear that I've got to stay on this treadmill forever
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know how much I'm going to need, and I don't want to ever run out.
Right.
That's where we shine because we can kind of show you what's the end game here. Are you already there? My husband's big on that. He helps people so much with understanding you might already be there. You might already have enough money to last the rest of your life. Let's take a look and see if that's true, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the other side is let's just get a game plan because you have to know where you are.
Right.
And most of us are afraid to find out where we are. And we don't even know how
Mm-hmm.
to start where we are because we get emotional about it. And this
Right.
kind of ties into the dream thing too. We try to interpret our own dreams, but we're emotional about it. I had a dreamer who came to me with that her daughters was smashed by a car and it cut off her legs at the knees and she was bleeding all over the street. Very, very vivid. She could not see the meaning to this. To her, it scared her to death. And she's like, I can't let my daughter out of my sight. I'm afraid she's going to get hit by a car. I'm afraid she's going to be bleeding. And so she was really going victim and fearful to the dream.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to her dream and I said, where in your daughter's life does she feel like she's getting cut off at the knees and bleeding all over? Where do you feel that's happening? And the minute I said that, she recognized it had something to do with school. Had a thing
Mm.
to do with school. Had nothing. Her subconscious created a picture that she
Right.
would remember that was very vivid, so it
Right.
would come through the veil and she could see it. But she's way too emotional about it to actually be able to find the meaning because I'm not emotional about it. So I could step back and say, okay, what I'm hearing is your daughter's being cut off at the knees and and she's bleeding out. Where's
Yeah.
that happening in her life? And she was like, oh my gosh, I know exactly where that's happening. And then she's empowered to do something. Same
Yeah.
with finances. When we find out where we are in an
Mm-hmm.
unemotional with an unemotional person, like, okay, let's do this, this, this.
Right.
And then we find out where we are, then we can see how far we are from where we want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And we might be closer, we might be farther away. You might be exactly right. You might be miles away. I use the example of if you're trying to get to Phoenix, you have to know where you are. And if you're in New York City or San Diego, California, that's going to be a different journey, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
and but if we don't know where we are, we can't know how to get there. And oftentimes we're trying to just get to Phoenix, but we have no idea what we have already.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we find it, I know some people have to have a conversation with their spouse or whomever else that they share money with to find out some of that information. And I help them with that too. So yeah, just um, a lot of what I do overlaps, but it also seems like it's two different sides of my brain. And sometimes it is, but I bring it all together with intuitiveness. I pick up on what anyone who comes in front of me is needing, and I try to find the way to help them find their own answers. I really don't
Yeah.
feel like I have anybody's answer. I just ask really good questions.
Yeah.
Uh, I
Me too.
illuminate, I just try to illuminate what it is. And then, yeah, I share some knowledge. I have a little bit more knowledge on the money side of stuff that's more cerebral because, I have
Mm-hmm.
some things and I've studied that for 13 years. And so that's I bring a lot more knowledge base there, but I do the same thing on the dream side too. I've done a lot of research and study on that as well, and have been understanding the meaning of dreams since I was a child. I had a suppressed memory that I came home from school one day and I was probably in the second or third grade, and my mom said, "Oh, good, Kim's home. Come in here." And I went into the kitchen, and she had a friend at the kitchen counter at the kitchen table, and she said, "Tell her your dream." So people have known in my life that could make meaning of the
Mm-hmm.
messages that come through the subconscious. So um,
Yeah.
but I'd forgotten all about that until, well, actually pretty recently that
Yeah.
I've always been able to do this. And that's when that voice said, you can interpret dreams. I didn't argue because something in me knew that was true. And
Yeah.
I believe all of us have that. We all have some superpower. We have something that we can bring forward. And if you're looking for it, that's what lights me up, is helping you find it, helping you remember who you really are and why you're here.
Yes. And that within this community, that's why I want to share everybody that I've met. Like when you tell me about the cosmic, I'm telling everybody in our group, you got to talk with Kim. She's got to do this thing with you. You got to, it was so amazing. This is a phone, by the way. I don't know what I'm doing with my fist, but uh,
You talk to your
I'm
phone, don't
talking.
you?
They're my, yeah, well, they're all my witches. So I have like,
You don't go, you got to talk to Kim. You That's cute.
yeah. So I don't know what I was saying, but I, when I knew what, I knew that I want to have a radio show. Everyone knows that. But I always thought, well, what do I want to talk about? And it wasn't what I wanted to talk about is what I want to share. And what I keep feeling that I want to share is everybody I meet in this community. Not
Mhm.
just because what you guys have done for me selfishly, as I see it, but everything that's happened to me that I've learned from you guys and these tools, I've been able to give to my family, and then my family can, or my other friends. And it's just I remember once a long time ago, Dr. Dyer said we could just have to raise our vibration. And I'm like, how do you do that with naysayers? What I'm finding now is I'm not meeting the naysayers because
Mm.
I'm surrounding myself with the people who are open minded, who want the knowledge, who want to be able to feel something. And as soon as I sat down with you, and you're right, all across the board with all three subjects, you wove them all together and it made sense. And I saw a lot of the fear around the money, which was preventing me from making money because I wasn't connecting who I am at my core. You're helping me connect to who I am at my core, seeing my dreams,
Mm.
and now the money is starting to flow. And I'm like, I can't make this shit up, you guys. Like, this is just, it blows my mind. And it's why I want to get on here every day and just say, okay, well, I found another one. You got to listen to this one because it's
Oh,
amazing.
I
So,
love that. And that is so cool that you're actually doing that. I mean, sometimes that is it, when we just share what someone has given to us with someone
mhm.
else. And the title, I have to just tell you, the title of your podcast is so cool. Like that is, lick my brain. That gives such an image. That's a dream image, really. I mean,
Yeah,
you can't miss that, like a dream licking image. uh, you know but what does that mean? That's like, if I mean, that's sensual, obviously, this and so it provides this resonance of something maybe a little naughty,
right,
but it provides also something a little tantalizing and titillating. And it also provides that, like, this is, it can be something it's knowledge, but
right,
it's knowledge in a way that is palatable. I want to hear it. I
right.
want to know it. I want to taste it. I want to feel it. I want to
Mhm.
embody it into my senses. And I love it. I mean, I just think it's such a cool thing, and I'm just
Thank
so excited to
you.
see where you're going with it. And I have to say, I remember meeting you a year ago, a little over a year ago, on the river. And
Mhm.
I'd known of you before. I think I'd been on some Zoom meeting with you or something prior to that, but that was the first time I physically met you. And I think about where you are now from where you were then, and the change in you is just, and it's not change, it's just evolution. You've just remembered more of who you are, and
Right.
you've allowed these different parts of you to come play,
Mhm.
and you've stopped listening to those voices that we all have. Oftentimes they are our parents, sometimes they're teachers, sometimes they're older brothers or sisters or kids on the playground, but usually it happens when we're a child. All those voices that tell us we can't, or make
Right.
us feel bad about who we are,
Right.
and try to diminish our light. And why
Mhm.
they do it, it could be like you determine with your father that it is because they want to keep you safe, but it could be because they don't want anybody to shine any brighter than them. And that's oftentimes what kids do. They just don't know, right? And
Right.
teachers will squash you again. How dare you
Mhm.
think you're so big and bright, and you're disrupting my class with all your awesomeness, and I don't know how to handle that. And so
Yeah.
we get diminished and we get these voices that we think are us, but none
Right.
of that is you. You're not your bank account. You're
Right.
not the number on the scale. You're not your job. You're not your
Right.
family. You're not any of those things, do you know? You're actually
Hmm.
the observer. We're the person who is watching this whole show happen. And we
Right.
don't let that voice talk to us very often. We suppress it, even when it
Hmm.
comes through into our consciousness. And the more work that's done like this, the more people that are out here doing what you're doing and sharing the knowledge, because how will people find, most of us we're not putting up big billboards and telling people about what we do because we're busy doing it. We're busy living our lives, right?
Right.
You give us a platform, and I'm really
Oh,
grateful that you do that. You
thank
give
you.
people a platform to share their superpowers with the world. Um,
Mm,
in itself is a superpower. So
thank
I'm
you.
I'm really excited for where this is going for you and for all those that you meet, because if you haven't met Mare in person, you need to. She's super fun.
And if you have, shh, be quiet. It doesn't. It's okay. You don't need to share. Um, I see when I'm with you, Kim, and we're talking, I feel so good. Like right now, I just want to go for like the longest hike because I have all this energy. So I hope everybody, you guys, we're gonna wrap this up, and I don't want to. I want to keep talking for like another hour, but I'm gonna have all of Kim's information down in the show notes. Um, I know, I think I asked you, but I don't see it here. Did you have anything coming up that you're speaking at soon that people can find or
Well,
get excited about or
I'm not speaking anywhere on anybody's calendar yet for a while. I've just wrapped up kind of a busy late spring and summer where I was doing a lot of presentations, but I do have some stuff coming up. One of them is the Cosmic Origin Quest. The questionnaire will be you can find that information on my website, and as a gift to anyone who mentions like my brain when you
what?
mention it in there, you will also get a free dream interpretation. So
Hmm.
I'm throwing that in. So if you do find me through Lick My Brain, let me know that, because I mean this is going to be on aired for a while. Maybe you can find it later. I'll honor that as well. So if you mention it, then I
That's
know that I can
beautiful.
send that back to Mare, and I'll also let her know that that's happening because we like to see that. I'm also going to be in the fall, might be early winter. I'm going to be offering a subscription. So like a members site where I'm playing with the exact details of it, but I believe it's going to be where we'll do a monthly get together. And then also every month you'll get also a mini dream session that's included in that. So you get a one-on-one session with me every month and also a group session. I offer free dream circles one Friday a month. And the
Okay.
next one is on the 8th of so it's this coming Friday. So I know this is going so but I offer them every month. So you can find that information on my socials and on my website.
Yeah.
And that is that allows us to learn how to share a dream with others, and then how to give feedback back in the way that I've learned how to do that through trial and error, to make sure
Hmm.
that we're honoring the dreamer and we're not giving advice and injecting our own um, thoughts on that. I believe that if there are more people that feel comfortable sharing their dreams with others, and more people that are equipped to hear the dream and hold that space, more like a dream tender, um,
Hmm.
we can we can start getting this information flowing more smoothly, where people are actually learning from each other. Because every time I hear a dream, I can take some of that with me to uh,
Right.
from
Right.
personally, but I do it after, but I can also provide the information back to to the dreamer. And we talk about some dream symbols too. So I also have a newsletter. So if you're interested in my newsletter, please let me know and I can get you registered for that. I send that out like once every 2, 3 weeks. At least once a month, you'll get a newsletter from me with information like dream. This last month was on color in dreams and how that shows up and what it might mean. And the week before that, it was on the time before that, I talked about, yeah, I can't remember. You'll have to look and see.
Dum dum
It's
dum.
not
Yeah,
coming to me. It was right there and it went away. So I guess it's just a mystery. See, so
that's
yeah,
right.
yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
What's
So
your website? Tell me your website so
the
that just in
website is
case.
lifecoachfordreamers.com.
There you
Very easy.
go. No easy letters. You.
Lifecoachfordreamers.com. And the information is on there for that. So just I've got some stuff coming up, but not necessarily speaking engagement. Always looking for that too. If you're interested in me coming to speak to your group, or
Yes.
you'd like me to do that, or you just want to grab coffee too, coffee chat on Zoom or whatever. I'm open for that. But I really do. I'm expanding my community as well, and I'd love to maybe I love to look at you and watch my head kind of turn so I can see. Because again, I
That's
can't control that. It doesn't always happen. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But the more people I meet, the more chance I get to play. So
yeah. Well, you guys go on that website and take advantage and do the dream analysis questionnaire. Take advantage of it because it's gonna change you one way or another. And it's for me and anyone else who has done it, it's been for the best. So I think it's an absolute must. But Kim, I love you so much. Thank you so much. Honestly, thank you so
uh,
much for coming on and sharing all this. And I love what you're doing for the women in this community and for the men. But I also just am such a big supporter of women's voices. So feel free to toss me anybody who wants to come on here and share their voice and their knowledge with other women and the men who are open-minded and want to listen. So absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, you're so awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank
This
you.
is
Okay,
great.
guys. That's it. I mean, we could go on more. Maybe I'll have a part two or part three with Kim because yeah, this is fun. This is the kind of stuff I love to do is just sit and chit chat and let everybody be listeners on it and yeah, get into it. So okay, guys, see you on the next time. Everybody be well and lick a good brain today. Go out and lick a good brain. And always don't be a dick.